are unmatched, which are unparalleled in the history of the Northern Cape. The MEC of Sports, Arts and Culture just came to me now to inform me that there's 2 officials from her department that were just arrested this morning. And that is all because of the work that we are doing to combat corruption and malfeasance in the public service. When we started, Honorable Speaker, this administration articulated a vision to guide the work of this administration. We made time to canvass this vision and invite stakeholders to buy into it. A vision is not a once-off event. So we had the first 5 years in the implementation of our vision to build a modern, growing, and successful province. And after these elections, we'll get the second 5-year terms in continuation with our work to build on this vision. It is a long-term objective. A vision is not where you are, it is where you want to be in the future. It is, therefore, a protracted journey underpinned by short, medium, and long-term implementable goals. It is informed by a comprehensive, well-researched plan. It stands to reason that throughout this term we have consistently reported progress on how far we are in advancing this vision. This can hardly be considered to be misguided rhetoric. On the matter of cadre deployment, I just want to say this is a practice the world over. It's not something unique to the African National Congress. The Democratic Alliance, which raised something on the issue of cadre deployment, they are also deploying. They are also deploying. In actual fact, their cadre deployment, it's more radical than the cadre deployment of the African National Congress. Far reaching than the one that we have. And already now, because they are looking at the polls, and the polls create some positive vibe amongst them that they might win elections, they've lined up already their cadres for positions.
My name is Kevin.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Konote wrongly refers to our neglect of the Khoi and the San people of Ward 1 in Platfontein. Like any other community, Platfontein forms part of this province, and therefore government takes responsibility for its well-being and its development. The Platfontein community has been incorporated into the broader community of Soplaki municipality. This is evident in projects such as housing, healthcare, education, social welfare, training and skilling of the youth, to mention but a few of the basket of services made available to this community. They are by no means marginalized. Currently, we have adopted 5 students from Platfontein who are beneficiaries of the Premier's Discretionary Fund and are busy with post-matric studies here in Kimberley. And we are also paying for their accommodation. This is on top of other students who are beneficiaries of the Premier's Transversal Bursary Fund. We take pride in the fact that we also have in swallows amongst the people of Platfontein who are teachers and nurses today and are plowing back to that community. They are making a positive contribution towards the development of the Platfontein community. Platfontein has its own SABC radio station, broadcasting in their own languages, thereby advancing and promoting the cultural and linguistic rights of the community as enshrined in the Constitution. Honorable Maglua mentioned that the outcomes of the polls by the various polling houses, they indicate that the ANC is going to lose elections. But he fails to mention that all recent polls indicates two things. That the DA is going to lose the Western Cape. Ipsos, the last report of Ipsos that came out in November, says the DA is going to lose Western Cape. It's going to lose the metro as well. I'm taking you to a pause. And number two, what these polls indicate as well is that the DA, after these elections, they won't be the official opposition. The official opposition will be the EFF. And you don't mention that. You speak about the polls, and you don't mention what the polls are saying about the Democratic Alliance. That after these elections, you won't be in charge of Cape Town, you won't be in charge of the Western Cape. That after these elections, you would have lost your position as an official opposition to the EFF. It is a dream when the polls are saying that about their party. But the polls are correct when they say that about the ANC. The same report that you are reading, the same poll outcomes that you are reading, that's what they are saying about the DA.
The motion is tomorrow.
So, Honorable Magluwa, we are one of the few provinces in the country that managed to close our checker account with a positive bank balance over the past 3 years. All of this is due to our commitment to cut on executive frills and wastages in the system. I don't think there should, by this stage, be any member of this provincial legislature who doubts our commitment to fight on executive frills and wastages in the system. Since we started here, it's for the first time that we got the red carpet here, which is brought by MEC Foslo. We said in our gatherings, we are not using red carpets. The people that deserve red carpets are the ones who pay for our salaries. And the ones who pay for our salaries is the taxpayers, the poorest of the poor, whose conditions of life we are tasked to improve. And the reason why we had closed the exchequer accounts on 3 consecutive years on a positive bank balance, it's all because we've committed on the first day in office that we are going to cut executive frills in the system. While other provinces spent millions on official residence of the Premier, here in the Northern Cape, this provincial government does not spend a cent. By choice, I stay in my house and not stay in a state house that costs about 8 million rand. By choice. I maintain my house, buy my own groceries. I don't have a chef there in my house. I drive my children to school. There's no state official that is tasked to drive my children to school. I do that myself. As this executive, we put ourselves in a disadvantage to create an advantage for the people of the Northern Cape. I was listening to the argument which was raised by the DA National on the issue of official residences. Money that is spent on the official residences of the president and the ministers. It was only when they were informed that their premier in the Western Cape stays in an official residence which cost more than 30 million rand that they stopped that campaign. They stopped it immediately when they were reminded that whilst are on a campaign on the issue of official residences. Your Premier in the Western Cape is staying in an official residence of more than 30 million rand. It actually exposed their duplicity. So here in the Northern Cape, you've got a Premier who does not cost this provincial administration a cent. Yes, a cent. Who stays at his own house. And the official residence has been rented out to the Department of Treasury at an amount of 60,000 rand per month, which gets directed to the Premier's bursary fund. So they stopped that thing of official residences as soon as they were exposed that my counterpart in the Western Cape stays at a residence that costs more than 30 million rand. When they were reminded about it. So I'm here to remind you that if we can ask any of the MECs of the Western Cape to come and be an MEC in the Northern Cape, they will refuse to come. They will say, I won't be an MEC in the Northern Cape. And the reason why they would refuse to do that is simply because of our campaign to cut on wastages